I could have lost my index finger, my left index finger. It's a great day today. I was fixing the step and soap pavers in my front yard, getting ready for a property to get listed on the market. Folks are going to come this weekend for the open house. Right now, I'm making a salad. I haven't eaten. And I wanted to stop a few times, and I just thought, hey, just keep going, just finish, we'll knock it out. I don't know, something just compelled me to keep going. I'm glad I did. I've just been really stressed out trying to get the property on the market, trying to get it sold, trying to get it ready for a bit, not trying to stress myself out too much, not been doing the best job at that. The stress was probably more tiring, and the fact that I didn't acknowledge it, the part of my brain that I would call a robot just kind of kicks in, get the task done, who cares how you feel, shut up, from what needs to get done, nobody's going to do it. And I'm glad I did because you missed a call yesterday. I didn't beat myself up about it because I was stressing to get the house ready for the photographer. My agent came, the photographer came. I was doing last minute changes, changing out hardware, just little things like that that you didn't think of. For some light bulbs that I didn't get swapped out. And I just didn't beat myself up about it. And I'm so happy that I didn't because it allowed me to have today kind of to myself. And today was just a really great day because I was just so at peace. And that's really cool to say out loud. I don't think I ever thought of it that way, but I was so at peace. And I just wanted a day where I could, for lack of a word, kind of zen and not be worrying about the house, the paver walkway. I listened to a podcast by a person I really admire. His name's Eddie Wilson. They call him the king of exits. He sold, I think, 86 companies in 1 year. Here's a clip of Eddie. Bro, I'm inside of that.
In 2019, I sold 76 companies for 1.27 billion.
And he has a podcast. I'm in a mastermind that he's associated with and one of the founders. I missed a call yesterday that I didn't beat myself up about because I was so busy, just kind of completely slipped my mind. I was also doing a dry river rock bed for my front yard so I can get reimbursed for a lawn to garden program here. It's a way to reduce water consumption, and 70% of all electricity is the movement of water. So to me, it was just more important than getting reimbursed. Of course, you want the money. Money's great and everything. It reimbursed me for the material and time that I did. Water is a very scarce resource. It's a scarce resource around the world. We take it for granted, especially the ability to have warm water. Some countries, some nations, some members of my family, even to this day, don't have access to hot water. And I don't know, I just zenned out, really. I'm not eating lunch until late in the afternoon. I was able to listen to the podcast of Eddie Wilson. It's called Impact with Eddie Wilson. Great businessman, private equity, runs tons of businesses all at the same time.
My number one book is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Everything that you want is on the other side of your ego. You got to get your ego out of the way. You have a system and process that's replicatable. If you focus on the actual system, it doesn't matter what you do. I run 86 companies at the same time. Everybody that tells you to focus on one thing, they just don't know how to have a process and system to do multiple. You could run 10 businesses yourself if you wanted to. Also, because I have a system and process that gives me all data. I'm a data analyst at the top. I have people that I empower, and then they run the same system across every single company, no matter what it is.
And it just really inspired me, to be honest. I found so many similarities in their life and mine, or maybe that's what humans do, right? They hear something, see something, and they assign meaning to it. Like anyone, they've experienced loss. The thing that helped me when I experienced loss, and I lost my father, as so many other people. And I think what the parallel between Eddie's examples that he gave on his podcast called Impact Others with Eddie Wilson was finding meaning in the house of grief is a lot more important than finding meaning in like the successes of life, successes in business. I think for my father, I was just very grateful that I had the time that I had with him, the things that I learned from him. And Eddie talked about something that just really, I feel like is very much missing in my community, which is a Latino community. One of the best gifts a parent can give their child is to pursue their dream with unrelenting resolve. Because if you as a parent do that for your children, that's a great model to show them. They will exhibit the same behavior, chase their dreams, and have the self-confidence or believe that their parents are supportive of that. I thought that was awesome of him to share that and how to be vulnerable and share some of the losses that they've suffered. I was just grateful to be alive, basically, just kind of hearing that from somebody that's so successful. He was very vulnerable. I think being vulnerable is a form of strength. I know some guys are, or some folks are, but he mentioned a few things that, and I identify with. I was like, yeah, I'm not the best with relationships. And he had this example that really stuck with me, which was basically, if you're in there digging a ditch with me, I'm going to talk to you. We're going to build rapport. We're going to build a relationship. But if you're not there, I'm going to forget to reach out. I'm going to be working. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. I just thought, yeah, that's kind of how I am. And I'm not the best at building rapport. I have trouble building trust and relationships. And a past classmate of mine, and I still think about it to this day because they were 100% correct. And I think there's been levels of correct and of how right they were. But basically, don't be so hesitant to open up to people. Don't be hesitant to build relationships with people. And that's something I struggle with. Eddie Wilson had a really great tip: build a hot list of people to reach out to on a weekly, monthly basis. And he uses one of his assistants to help him out with that. I just hired one of my first teammates today to work with me, which I'm enthused about. But that was amazing. And that kind of reminded me like, hey, you now have somebody that you can count on. Their success is my success, which another mentor told me. How easy is it to build a hot list of people to reach out to? And I do that periodically. And another mentor actually told me something that really blew me away. They blew me away and they continue to blow me away. They said something like, reach out to me when you need me, and then reach out to me when you don't need me. Eddie also had another great point, which was basically from, I believe, the good book. I'm not sure. I'm not a theologian, but there's a part of the good book that says the widow was very poor, gave, X amount of money, which to the average person is like, well, you gave not a lot of money. And somebody else pointed out, no, that outranks every other donation, whether large, medium, small, because she is so poor. What she gave was all that she had. He said something about he's a successful business person, but he also gives a lot of it away. And he's put into practice things like Impact Others, which is a philanthropic organization, I think in Latin America, Mexico. He was even talking about this issue in the debtors' prisons. People for generations are enslaved. They're encouraged to have children. And then those children are to have children and so on and so on. And they'll never get out of debt so that they can continue working for this break maker. And then they're abused, taken advantage of, and go through a lot of trauma, all because generations ago, there was a debt that couldn't be paid. He also said something that I found very profound. When you don't have money, you have time. And when you have money, you don't have time. But if you give time when you have money, or if you just give time, period, that is probably one of the scarcest resources that you can give. So even if you don't have money, just give what you can. It takes about 83 cents to feed a family in South America through his charitable organizations. Just pennies on the dollar, really. But the time thing, I thought that was invaluable because he also later on tied it to, if I give somebody $100 right now, and that's just kind of me giving somebody $100, but if I give somebody my time and that unlocks, changes something in their life, then that is invaluable. And later on, I think he had like 4 or 5 episodes because I listened to the whole thing to kind of just bled together because I was out there for so long fixing my paver gravel walkway. He said something about, people always talk about the top 5 people you spend time around amount to you. But he said, what about the other way around, which I never thought of. I never thought of this. The top 5 people you spend time with, what kind of impact am I making for them? Does anybody ask themselves that? And what kind of investment are you making in their lives? What kind of improvements are you making for them? He also talked about relationships are 50-50. And he said, I disagree with that. And I just thought, where's this going? And he said that he doesn't believe in that. He believes that they should be 100-100. I thought that about marriage, but I didn't think that about friendships and relationships. I couldn't agree more, to be honest. I think both people need to put up a great, consistent effort and bring their best effort. Later on, he talked about how it's great to reach out to people. I'm not great at that. I know one person in particular that had a huge, huge impact in my life, cared deeply about me, and this was at work, which is very rare. I haven't reached out to them, so saying this out loud, I'm going to reach out to you. I might send this to you just to prove that I am not just reaching out for something because I don't need anything from them. Oftentimes, I think I don't want to bother people, and really, that's not what's going on. I've heard other people say stuff like, no one's thinking about you, and they're kind of thinking about themselves and what they need to do only. And that is true to an extent, but it's good to check in with people because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're going through. And yeah, you could reach out, they can reject you, they cannot reply back, they can ghost you. But why get upset when you're not expecting anything in return? You shouldn't be expecting anything in return, really. Every time I'm using power tools, I have a bunch of power tools. I use them all the time. And I always felt this guilt coming from the Latin community that, I'm not handy enough. I'm not manly enough. I'm not macho enough. A lot of people in my family had said stuff like, I don't have a real job. I come from recruiting, from HR, working in an office, air conditioned, working in tech for companies like Amazon, Google, Hulu. There's just always this innate thing, and I ignore it, and I've made my peace with it a long time ago because I am a hard worker. I know I work very hard. I am very handy, just not in the ways that these folks kind of envision for me. Maybe they're trying to feel superior because I lack something that they have. I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't have the time to kind of sort through that. I'll get to what happened to me first, because I think that's the freaky thing. So I'm there using a circular saw that I have. I was wearing gloves, thank goodness, and you'll see why. I just made myself, I wanted to do something. I've been putting this off, which was I have a fence. I cut it so that I wouldn't drag the other side of the paper walkway, gravel walkway that I have on the side of my house. My glove got caught in the circular saw, and the circular saw, rightfully so. Thank you, DeWalt. This is not a sponsorship deal, but thank you, DeWalt, for creating a tool that, safety in mind. My glove was probably this far off of my finger, and the circular saw caught the glove. And then as I'm thinking about this, I guess I was distracted. I'm still a bit tired, a little fatigued. It was hot. I was rushing as well. All bad combinations. Essentially, my glove got caught in the circular saw. I thought, if I wasn't wearing this glove, I could have lost my index finger, my left index finger. But I also was thinking, maybe this isn't your deal. Maybe this isn't your purpose. Maybe you're not supposed to be out here doing this stuff, And I've always thought that, like, this isn't my deal. This isn't my thing. This isn't my zone of genius or joy. But I always just kind of taught myself, did stuff, had to be handy and help my family. Then on the podcast, Eddie Wilson was saying something like, he's not handy. He's more about operations, the numbers, the business, teaching people business. And he doesn't force things. I just was like, not freaked out, but a little like, whoa, I literally was thinking about this right now. It really inspired me to think about where I can give the tools that I have. I already earmarked someone to give them away to people. I just thought, wouldn't it be better to give these away, make an impact in their life? Maybe they can make better use out of this. Maybe they can feed their families more. So I might do that. I have all these suits that I have and I haven't used for years on a consistent basis. I bought them. I like clothing. I like fashion. And I decided, let me give these away to my alma mater, Kappa Alpha Mona. And I reached out to them. They reached back out to me and said, hey, we're taking them on this date. And I have a special feeling already just thinking about rolling up to campus, parking, giving them the suits. And I wish I could be there for when somebody picks it out, they put it on and they go to their interview and they get the interview because they feel good. They feel really great. They feel really confident. And I just already have like a fuzzy feeling just kind of thinking about it. And I was on another call with somebody else who I really admire as well. His name is Andrew Forgo, saying, if you have $10, give $10. If you have 10 cents, give 10 cents. Whatever you can, just give it away when you can, if you can. If you don't have money to give, then give time, because we only have so much time on this planet. It's just good to give away. I gave somebody a big discount on some stuff I wanted to sell, but he felt so bad that he was getting such a steal. And I just said, look, I'm moving. You are a handy person. and you are paying me somewhat for this. And you're actually doing me a favor by taking this off my hands. What I like most is that you are going to get such a good use out of this, so much more than I would. This stuff has been just sitting around. Don't feel bad. I'm glad that you're taking it. And I just feel great. Like, honestly, I just feels really good to give what you can. I need to figure out ways to give back. The teammate that I just hired not too long ago, and we spoke today, I'm just really excited to train them up. I really am excited to figure out what they want to do. I'm really excited. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I'm just really excited. And I think I've been gravitating a lot towards people who like to make money. They know how to keep the money, but then they want to give it away as well. And I'm really, really digging that type of person. They're not the most common, but they're out there. Some people are giving away their time. Some people are giving away their money. And I hope that's what this channel does. I hope I can give you my experience. I hope this time, we spend together on these videos is helpful, impactful. And I hope my failures, again, a topic that Eddie Wilson was talking about, don't let your failures define you. There's no such thing as failures, only learning opportunities. It's just the way that you frame it with your mind and how you refer back to them and how you treat yourself about them. On the other side of failure, on the other side of pain, if you find purpose, if you learn from it, then it's okay. People learn more from failure than they do from success. If you have success without failure, or if you start on second base or third base, you're going to be deficient in the skill set of when things hit the fan. What are you going to do? Are you going to fold or are you going to figure it out? What a beautiful day. I hope one person gets value out of this, and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're appreciative of what you have. I hope you focus on what you do have. I hope you focus on the growth that you've made. And I'm proud of you for the person that you're becoming. If you're here watching this video, especially towards the end, then, a sweet high five and a fist tap.